My name is Paula Dodilia, and I am Lieutenant Oliver's daughter. And my belief and my feelings are that Mr. Workman did not kill my father, and if so, I do not believe it was intentional, and I would like to see his sentence be reduced to at least life.
Comes from the Latin word clemencia, which means mercy, forgiveness. I think one of the more beautiful aspects of all of our different religious beliefs has an element of forgiveness.
On January 25, 2001, Philip Workman sat before the Pardon and Parole Board to plead for his life. Workman was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death based solely on the testimony of a single eyewitness. Facts now prove that the only eyewitness claiming to have seen Workman shoot Lieutenant Oliver perjured himself on the witness stand. Review of medical evidence after the trial proved Workman did not shoot Lieutenant Oliver. Workman has never denied culpability for the robbery that resulted in the shooting death of Lieutenant Oliver.
For 20 years, I can't begin to tell you how many days and nights I've agonized over what I caused by doing the armed robbery. But I'm telling you, in all honesty, as the Lord is my witness, I intentionally, deliberately have killed and shot nobody.
In August 2003, Governor Phil Bredesen issued a decision to rely on a recommendation from the same Sundquist-appointed clemency board that 2 years before unanimously denied Workman's plea for mercy. Due to the limited number of people allowed to witness a clemency hearing, most Tennesseans are shielded from the often hostile and dehumanizing trial-like atmosphere of what is mandated to be an impartial hearing. The board's demonstration of bias and hostility was not directed solely at Workman, but at jurors, witnesses, and experts advocating for justice.
See, the judge charged me, okay? He charged me that I should base my decision on everything that came out of that witness chair. I got charged. And so one of those witnesses perjured himself by lying.
When I got back to the hotel, that's when I found out that the cop got killed. I called up, and the detective came up, told him I was there in the area. And they came and took me down to the police station, and they showed me a photo, and I said, well, I didn't see it, anything. I heard the shots. I was right behind the cop when he drove up in there, but I turned around because I've been smoking weed and drinking, and I don't want to be, it's hard.
According to Davis's sister, he had a history of calling in false reports to collect reward money to support his drug addiction.
You lied, but you can't tell them why.
Harold didn't witness a policeman getting killed at a Wendy's. Harold and I was together that night, and we got pulled over by a policeman. The policeman did not get a chance to give us a ticket or whatever he was going to do. He got a call or something, and he proceeded and went on to that Wendy's because we passed by that Wendy's and seen all that activity going on.
Well, he basically told me what happened, how it happened, when it happened, certain things. And would you be willing to say this is what happened, I said, well, I didn't see all that. They said, well, this is what you're going to say. And they made me sign, had me sign a statement. And it was more or less like a threat. Late one night, somebody, a white guy, big white guy, came, knocked on my door. And he said he had a message for me. And that, if I changed my testimony in any kind of way, that people that I loved and cared about could disappear just like I could.
But the very important thing to remember for polygraph is people lie because of their perception that the truth is a threat to them. That's
Kenneth Bardell, a polygraph investigative consultant with 30 years in the FBI as a special agent and a member of the American Polygraph Association, administered a polygraph examination of Harold Thomas Davis, Jr. on June 18, 2003.
Are you now being
After
completely
examining
truthful about what you
Davis,
saw
it was
of that
Bardell's
shooting?
opinion that he recorded responses which were not indicative of deception, and that Davis was being truthful in his assertions that he did
you
not
see
see
Philip
Workman
Workman
shoot the
shoot that
police
police
officer.
No.
So, I mean, for 18 years you didn't know he'd done that?
Of course not. If I had, I would have said something.
After being informed of the perjured eyewitness testimony and the post-trial medical evidence, jury member Wardy Parks stated he would not have charged Workman with capital murder nor condemned him to death. 4 other jurors have signed similar statements.
I'm charging you all now, cause I'm wiping my hands of this situation. I got to face God myself, but not with Mr. Workman blood on my hands. I'm charging this panel right here. I'm putting a charge on you and to the governor that y'all do what's right according to the law, based on evidence. Not about how I feel, think, but if this evidence had been presented in the first place, Mr. Workman wouldn't be sitting back here.
As he fervently pled for the board to consider the false evidence which resulted in Workman's death sentence, jury member Wardy Parks was subjected to increasingly hostile cross-examination.
You now against the death penalty?
No, it's the law.
Are you, but are you against it?
It's the law. God ordained, Romans 13, God ordains the higher power, the law. It's the law.
What are you
But
saying?
we got a doubt in this situation here.
Are you saying that you're now against the death penalty?
No, I didn't say that. If the legislative vote that there should be a death penalty, I got to honor that.
I think it would be a great credit to Governor Bredesen and to the state of Tennessee that clemency boards should always be made up of a diversity of people, especially people who are not totally related to law enforcement.
When I ask a question, you respond to the question, okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's get the emotion out of it.
A man said he's an eyewitness.
That was my question. You had the opportunity to ask a question then, did you not?
Sure.
Okay,
But an eyewitness is the one who sees something.
thank you. He's your witness again.
Not what I asked you. I said, if you found out that none of that was true.
You're putting an if though on there. If. If is if though factor. I'm talking about what I saw for myself. I believe it, and I'm going to stand on it.
Think that the man is telling the truth. And I know it's odd for me to be saying this, but it seems like there's a lot of questionable things relating to this case. And I would like to see someone look into it further and give him a chance.
If I have to die, if you choose, which, you know, like I said, with all due respect, I certainly already most definitely feel that you're not going to recommend me to Mr. Sundquist for clemency.
Mr. Workman, we wouldn't have scheduled you for a hearing. If we'd had our mind made up previously, we could have just denied you the hearing and wouldn't have had to sit through, some of us been up over 13 hours for this hearing.
Yes.
At this point, is any member prepared to vote as to whether or not Mr. Philip Ray Workman should be granted a commutation of sentence or not be granted a commutation of sentence? Mr. Anderson said he's ready.
Mr. Workman, my recommendation to Governor Sundquist will be that clemency be denied. And I certainly hope that your fate will sustain whatever your fate may be.
Mr. Workman, I find no reason to disagree with the court's decision, sir. Decline clemency. May God have mercy on your soul.
Mr. Dawson?
That the clemency be denied.
And I believe you shot Lieutenant Alton. I don't think there's anything been said here today that would make me believe otherwise. Based on your testimony, you're blaming Lieutenant Alton and Mr. Stoddard, which I resent, just to be honest with you.
I want to say first that I think the state has done an excellent job in presenting this case, and I also think Mr. Workman's attorneys have
Despite the
done an
fact
excellent job
that the duty of the
Mr.
board
Workman.
members is to listen impartially before rendering a decision, subsequent inspection of the parole board documents reveal that parole board member Sheila Swearingen's statement was prepared before the hearing and read almost verbatim.
You seem to have no respect for human life. My non-binding recommendation to the governor is not to grant clemency in your case. God bless you, and may God bless your family.
And And I think that when we respond with violence to violence, we become more of a violent society. You remember in the gospel somewhere it says, the Lord says, I do not desire sacrifice, I desire mercy.
I can feel it come.